Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the home of the slightly above average ship review. I am your reviewer, an average player KPZ, and you are watching a slightly above average ship review right now. All right, we're on Tears of the Desert and Epicenter. By the way, I hope you had a great 2021, and I hope you have an even better 2022. This match, hadn't intended to bring this to you this year, but I got lucky. So I thought, let's end the year on a high note with one of the very worst destroyers in the game. Yes, today's match is in the Charles F. Hughes. I find it personally very funny that when the ship was introduced, here's a look at the team, sixes and sevens, we're down here. When this ship was introduced, it had Charles F. Hughes in the name. And so many people made jokes about F, like FU, Charles Hughes, and stuff like that, that Wargaming removed the F. So we're putting the F back in Charles F. Hughes today. I hate to say it, this is probably the worst destroyer in the game. It is in the wrong tier, in my opinion. Um, Compared to just the other U.S. destroyers at tier 6, it has 4 guns instead of 5. So the Benson has more DPM, and the Kid has more DPM, not to mention a heal. So this ship is going to get outgunned by the Benson and the Kid. The Sims actually has better DPM than the ship because the reload is slightly faster. Don't ask me how that works, but that's something I noticed when I was looking at these two ships in the fort. And then, of course, the Benham has way better torpedoes than this thing. Even the Sims, a ship I think very poorly of, at least gives you a choice between short range screamer torps and long range low damage torps. This thing has the lower tier, like tier 2, 3, 4, 6.4 kilometer torpedoes. So it is really handicapped. It's not going to beat true gunboats in a gunfight, and it doesn't have the torpedo capability to reach out anywhere. So you're really forced to do a lot of close in fighting. But again, when you're talking about that, the Sims has way better agility than this ship. The Sims agility rating is 99. This ship's agility rating or maneuverability, whatever they call it, is only 95. So that is a difference. The Sims has, I want to say, 6/10 of a second faster rudder shift. The Sims is 2.1. I know that for certain, and it has less DPM than the Sims. So really, wargaming, I think the best way to fix this ship. Everybody who bought it, give them 2,500 doubloons back. Maybe drop some of the hit points. Move this ship down to tier 5. That's just my opinion. All right, we were going to kill pinch that Paolo Emilio, but he died too quick. And so right now I'm thinking of the damage record in WoW's builds 77,069 by Mark, aka White. I said to myself, self, if I can do one thing this year, it's take a damage record away from the community contributor. All right, Bismarck, we smoked up and stopped, and we were lighting him up with our guns, hoping to distract him from these torpedoes in the water. And lo and behold, at least partially, it is going to work as I stupidly back up and occlude my own shots. We do get 3 of the 5 torpedoes to hit and do about 30,000 damage there to the Bismarck. So I am pretty happy with that. And we're just going to keep shooting. Um, I'm not sure if he's flooding or not. I guess he might be flooding. And there's another battleship coming around the corner, so we're just waiting for him to. And I'm going to hit him with some more torpedoes. Just you watched. All right, we light the Bismarck on fire. We got this long-lasting U.S. smoke screen, as you can see, a minute 33, 32, and counting down. So I just intend to light the Bismarck up until I can't anymore, and then get some torpedoes out on this other battleship, if I can. So yeah, this is probably the worst destroyer tier 6. And here's the other thing, really, when we're talking about this, and I compared a lot to The Sims because they're both kind of uh, outshined by the other U.S. premium destroyers at Tier 6. The Kid being a superior gunboat, the Benham being a superior torpedo boat. Hey, look, my internet crashed. Been having a lot of internet problems lately, so I clipped the part where I was offline. We're going back online. Here's the funny thing. I was depressing the trigger for a while, waiting for the game to come back on. And so I'm not holding the trigger of my controller right now. This ship is just shooting on its own like poltergeist. I guess because the inputs from before I went offline are still saved. So this is really bonkers. Not to mention unsafe for my health. All right, so we ended up with about 52,000 damage. No kills, but I mean, at least we got over the halfway mark. In this ship, that is a small victory. Um, like I said, or it was saying before I went offline. The Charles F. Hughes doesn't have an identity. The Benson is a better gunboat. The Kid is a better gunboat. You could even argue the Sims is a better gunboat. The Benson has way superior torpedoes, at least in volume and accumulative damage. They're longer range than these ones. Um, Even the Sims offers you a choice. And so this ship has no identity other than it is the worst U.S. destroyer Tier 6 and possibly the worst overall destroyer Tier 6. Maybe some other ships, the Sims, the Ognivoy, might be able to weigh in on that. But I just don't understand why this had to be at Tier 6. It would have made a lot more sense at Tier 5. Then you could draw a clear contrast between the Charles F. Hughes and the Monahan, which is a torpedo because it has a long range torpedoes. All right, so I thought this battleship was going to get in the way of my massive torpedo salvo. That's the only reason I was screaming at him because I was worried that one of my few attempts at offense was going to get stifled. But it looks like he is on the other side of that Iowa. And as these torpedoes slowly, inexorably make their way, we get a couple, three torpedo strikes, and we finish off the Iowa. And I am so close to that Wow's Bill score. I can taste it. We're about 2,500 away. All right. So we got a sign up out here. He is very near to death. And there's the North Carolina, which ran away a long time ago. So looking at those two options, the North Carolina has a lot more health to take away. And as you can see, our torpedo reload just got down to about 30 seconds. So again, not to beat this point to death, but the thing I really don't like about the ship, it doesn't have anything you can lean on. It's just blah. It doesn't have great guns. It doesn't have great torpedoes. It doesn't have great concealment. It doesn't have great maneuverability. It doesn't have great concealability. It doesn't have great AA. It has great nothing. And it's outshined by all the other destroyers in every single category. That's why I don't like this ship. That's why I think it's better off at Tier 5. Wargaming, instead of cramming multiple ships into one tier, like the three U.S. heavy battleships at Tier 4 or 5, pardon me, how about you move one up to Tier 6, like West Virginia, so you can have a contrast between the Florida and the West Virginia? Amazing. I just thought of that. All right. Our torpedoes moving in on the North Carolina. He at least anticipated them in some way. He is turning away, but it's not going to matter. These torpedoes are like the IRS. They're going to catch up with you eventually. And we get one, two, three torpedo strikes. And he's flooding. We're over the century mark. I feel so happy. I want to see if I can kill pinch that guy, but they take each other out. So that is not going to happen. So it's 2 on 2, although the enemy has all the cap circles, so we got to basically kill them to win. Uh, North Carolina still being damaged by my teammate, and he is taken out. All right, so there's one ship left. At this time, I do not know what it is. I'm asking for help because even though I'm at full health, I'm in a Charles F. Hughes. And this thing effing sucks. So even though don't pay attention to this video, it really sucks, trust me. If you buy this ship, you're going to be disappointed. I got it out of a crate during the orgy of Christmas crates. So, um, you know, there weren't any other good ships for me to get. So they've been giving me cruisers and the Sims and the Charles F. Hughes. All right, so the last ship is a Weimar. Literally the last ship I want to face in this tub. But we do what we have to do for God, the country, and for the WoW's Legends community. While we're cruising around this island, I just want to take a minute to thank all my loyal subscribers at last count 95. Don't worry, there's still room to get in on that action if you haven't subscribed yet. The home of the slightly above average ship review, I'm going to show you what an average player can do in a ship. And occasionally, like this match, we're going to reach for the stars. All right, so we're coming around the mountain. Charles F. Hughes, ladies and gentlemen, it's a garbage can on the water, but we are going to get some torpedoes out on the Weimar. And I think he was so shocked at my audacity, he didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to do, and so he backed into a torpedo. And now that I got a more broadside, I see him trying to take off on me. Oh no, sir, I got you covered. All right, we're turning away because I'm not smart enough to turn in. We are going to eat one torpedo and damage con eventually, but we finish them off with that last torpedo. The internet tried to beat me today, ladies and gentlemen. It wasn't just the red team. The internet tried to beat me and it failed. All right, there's what I think is the new damage record on WoW's builds 120,367. We finished off our daily ops 11 big torpedo strikes, 2 kills, 572,000 and change, 8501 ship XP, 14,573 commander XP. And then the other side of the story, I went to Metajerk's channel, and he has a game with 131,000 total damage. Wah, wah, wah. Sad trombone, but that's all right. In this ship, I will take this result any day of the week because this destroyer sucks. All right, here we are at the top of the board 2024, two big kills. Hear me now, believe me later. Do not pay money for the Charles F. Hughes. If you get in a crate, great. If you don't buy it. Please don't buy it. All right, here's our loadout or upgrades: aiming system mod 1, propulsion mod 2, and concealment system mod 1, of course. All right, we get those 2 charges of the smoke generator and 2 charges of the engine boost like any US destroyer. We ran every epic flag I could find and the common battle booster for speed just to make the results look better. Type 9 permanent camo, Independence Day 21 flag. Survivability 12,870 hit points with our build, taking about 2,000 hit point hit. 4 guns, they shoot out to 10.6 kilometers, reload in 3.9 seconds, turn in 5.3 seconds, do 1,800 HE shell damage, 5% fire chance. The AP shells do 2,100 damage. DPM on this build 110,000 and change. All right. Torpedoes, 2 quintuple tube launchers, reload 96.8 seconds, max damage 11,773, 6.7 kilometer range at 68 knots, detectability 1,300 meters. AA is what it is. Your main battery is dual purpose. Maneuverability 39.1 knots, that's okay. 2.2 rudder shift time, again, 6/10 of a second slower than the Sims. Detectability 5.1 on the surface, 2.8 from the air, 2.6 when firing in smoke. Let's take a look at our commander, Albert Gleaves. In theory, you could get your torpedoes above 7 if you ran Torpedo Safari, but this is the setup I ended up using for the Charles F. Hughes, simply because you're going to be out DPM by a lot of ships, so I just didn't want to run it as a gunboat. If and again, you're looking at the other premiums just in the U.S. The Benham, superior torpedo boat, same amount of guns. Kidd, 5 gun barrels and heels. Sims, quicker reload, quicker turning ship. At least you could spec it differently with the torpedoes. The Charles F. Hughes is just boring and sad. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it. Thanks.